Welcome back and welcome to Deck Demo Week.
Taking apart our deck and smashing it to pieces was both a very cathartic and rewarding thing for me, and I think you too. The deck was one of my least favorite things about this house when we drove up to it the first time, and I have not grown to love or appreciate it anymore. How's it going?
We're getting there.
Is it even washed?
It was pretty rough. The railing was starting to fall apart in places, and then it just, once we started taking it apart, we saw really like how bad it was.
As is par for the course with basically everything that we have done with renovation, demolition always seems to show us things that are more wrong than we can tell with just our naked eye. We knew when we moved into this house that the deck was in very poor shape. We knew that there were issues, but now that we almost have the top layer of the deck taken off, we are really questioning how this was not way more catastrophic way sooner. You can see the level of deterioration of the joist hangers. Some of them are completely rusted through. These joists were not supported by it at all anymore. Right where he's standing and on the other side there, those joists, when we took the floorboards off, just completely fell. So essentially they were being held up by the nails that were holding these janky boards in place. And then the biggest concern of all, which Jonathan is kind of just a little frustrated here. The ledger board, which was directly connecting the joists of the deck to the joists in the basement. There should have been flashing and weatherproofing and, measures taken so that it's not wood that is directly exposed to the outside. But there's nothing there, and it's like a sponge. Now we get to figure out how we best remedy that before we put the new deck up. Fun times! And I know it sucks, but chin up, Buttercup. Better to figure it out now than when our house is falling down.
This joist will fall down once we have all of this.
Yeah, I probably should get off of here.
Yeah, you probably should.
All right,
Well,
bye. We don't know the exact age of the deck, but they did use a composite material, which usually is pretty lasting, and you don't have to do much in the way of maintenance, but it was sun damaged and just in really bad shape. It needed, not love, it needed to go.
One of the important things with laying, I don't know if it's just composite or any decking, is to have some spacing between the planks so that water can run off and it's not pooling. This deck was not like that at all. It was smushed together and it caused the water to pool on top of the deck and even flow towards the house. Because of that, we found a lot of rot.
If you've been following us for any length of time, you have seen a lot of big surprises and learned of big surprises right along with us. The first one was probably the roof. Very soon after we moved in, there were leaks and we had to repair that. And then the second big surprise was thinking that we had a wood-burning fireplace, and unfortunately we didn't because it wasn't safe and it's now completely sealed up. So I wouldn't say that we were expecting to go into demolition without uncovering something out of the ordinary. And unfortunately, the rot is what we uncovered.
The rim joist under Annie's room is just completely rotted, so we're gonna have to replace that. And now we're gonna check behind the ledger board on the main portion of the house. See how bad this is. Come on over here, Annie girl. Oh my gosh.
Is it rotted? Ew, what is that?
It is discouraging. When we started taking apart the deck and pulling it away from the house, we found no flashing over top of the rim joist, which is the part of your flooring system that connects to the floor joist inside the house. That is not treated lumber. Like, it needs to be protected and flashed, and none of it was. Today, we just took off the ledger board and there was nothing behind that. So the sheathing is completely rotted away. The rim joist itself was pretty rotted, and you'll see some of that. It's discouraging, but at the same time, not surprising,
right? Yes.
Based on what else
yes.
we found in
the
house with the roofing and everything else not done very well.
Whoa, how you doing?
Well,
How's that wood look back there?
More work ahead of us. Look at that.
Okay, so for starters, wood is supposed to be solid. It is not supposed to crumble when you touch it. The frustrating thing is that it happened not because the deck was old or like general wear and tear. It was done incorrectly. So either somebody slapped that deck up there without doing their research, or somebody knew what they were supposed to do and cut a lot of corners. Now that gives us, unfortunately, extra work before we can get into installing the new deck.
Yeah, it's like rotted away. Look at that.
Jonathan Boudsman with your Una mustache.
Una mustache.
How are you feeling right now?
I don't know. When we initially took that off, I was discouraged, but now it's like par for the course, so
I dare
have
you.
to fix it.
I dare you to pick that guy up with your bare hands.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's a Black Widow.
It is? Are you sure about that?
I'm gonna look it up. Jonathan had mentioned that the railing of the old deck was kind of falling apart, and I just wanted to share a story. When we settled on the house and when we moved in that first evening, our family surprised us, and they were lined up on the deck waiting for us as our caravan pulled in. We didn't witness it because it happened before we got here, but apparently they all almost like fell forward because one of the railings came loose. Thankfully, nobody was hurt.
Right.
And thankfully, it is something that we're taking care of sooner than later. Now the liability issue is if somebody accidentally opens our front door and walks out.
What?
We have been joking that the new motto when you leave our house is leap and pray, but we do have it marked off so that the kids don't forget.
Right.
Pretend that you don't see Arlo out there going to the bathroom. I know that we are really far from being finished on this deck, but without all of the railings there, oh man, how good is that view?
So with all the negative out of the way,
Yes.
we move on
Time for the
to
positive.
exciting stuff. Talk about what we're going to do in replacement of the old deck. We're going to do composite again, and we found a couple colors and material that we really like that we'll show
I'll
some
show
samples
you
of.
samples in a second here.
But we're going to expand the deck actually double. So it was 8 feet from the house. We're going to make it 16 feet. We're going to actually expand where the stairs are. So we're going to wrap the stairs all the way around the corner and then do some cable railing around the other corner that's a little bit higher just to preserve the view. We love the view out of the front of our house.
Okay, so samples.
Yeah, and the way that we're gonna lay the deck out, it's called picture framing. So we're gonna do a different color border around the outside and actually down the middle because it's really long at portions. It's like 38 feet long. They don't make deck boards that long. So this will allow us to do seamless decking up to that middle part without having seams. Seamless.
We're going with a company called Fiberon. So this is the primary color that we are using. It is called Latte, and the browns in it are really similar to the browns in the Seaboard Oak flooring that we used on the inside of our house. Then, here, hold up the other one. That is called Earl Grey. It complements the brown. It also will pick up the grays on the exterior of our house, but we didn't want gray on gray on gray, so that's why we're going to use that for the framing and go with the richer brown for the main part of the flooring.
And they're not drastically different. It just breaks it up a little bit.
Picture frame. As far as the process goes, obviously the deck is torn down, it's gone, the permit is in hand, so whenever we are ready to start, we are cleared to start. Unfortunately, because of the rotting rim joists, we have an added step in that we have to get those out and put new wood in there and flash it, because news flash, you have to flash your deck so that the inside of your house doesn't get wet. Next step after we get the rim joists repaired is that we are going to be digging the holes for the footers, put the footers in, put the framing up, and then we can put the final decking on. Not many steps, but I also think this is going to be a pretty big job because it's a pretty big deck. I'm picturing my new deck. I'm gonna be sitting out here on an evening such as this when it is like
Grilling
60.
steaks.
Grilling steaks? I know, Daddy's gonna be grilling the steaks. I'm gonna be sitting here kicking my feet up,
On the couch.
listening to my birds out here,
Couch.
enjoying that view,
$4,000 binoculars.
and ignoring all of the other work that needs to be done because this is gonna be my favorite place. I can't wait.
We actually just had Annie's birthday party and had about 40 people, and the house is awesome for it.
Yeah.
Being a ranch, there is a good amount of space and with the inside being opened up, but this addition of the deck, it just will allow for a much more seamless like inside outside living space, a lot more space for people to hang out.
I envision a dining table out there, Adirondack style chairs, a couch, just all of that extra seating for people to be comfortable inside or outside.
Right.
Happy birthday, dear Annie. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha.
It's a beautiful evening. Our neighbors just started mowing, so I'm gonna take that as our signal to wrap up here and move on to other things for the evening. As Jonathan mentioned, we just celebrated Annie's 8th birthday, and we have a big week coming up. We're gonna be celebrating 15 years of marriage. Next time, we will celebrate our 15th with you. Have a great week.
See ya.
Taking apart our deck was very, what the heck was that?
That was a cool bird.
Non-Norial. 1, 2. Dog check. They're both here. Arlo, stay up here, buddy. And also, you keep like wandering off the side. You need to stay over here. I'm not pushing you away. I love you.
Love you.
He gets so irritated when I interrupt his thoughts.
Well, I'm like, you're
And-
wanting, I'm trying to talk. A light color or on the border.
But
Dark?
uh-oh, did you tell them the wrong thing? Very similar. See, you interrupt me too. I'm just nicer to you.
So, no.
You interrupt me a lot, actually. Last week I had to cut out so many things where you
What?
you act like I'm the only one. You finish my sentences all the time. I'm just nice and don't yell at you.
I
when
let you
do.
finish. No, you. Say,
Right
hold
now.
On, hold on.
He just did it.
No, that's what I'm
He
saying.
has
You
been
say-
yelling at me,
No.
saying that I interrupt him
Oh my
too much
goodness.
and don't let him finish his thoughts. He finishes my sentences all the time.